Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much once again for joining this episode on Life Signatures Radio. I've just come off of a long series, and actually I'm going to continue talking about that particular subject. In that long series, we've been talking about how you can know, how you can tell that you're not deploying your potential, how you can know that you're not fulfilling your God-given potential. And we did 10 ways you can know you are not fulfilling your God-given potential. You can just go back in the previous 10 or 12 episodes and you can check them out. Very good teaching right there, and you can benefit from it. And today I want us to continue talking about the same thing, the same subject of potential. And this is what I want us to talk about. I want us to talk about the several ways that potential speaks to us. Now that we saw in the previous episodes that some people think they don't have potential, think they don't have gifts and they don't have talents, I want us to create some kind of information bank where you can know. It's not a lot of information, and maybe you don't need a lot of that, where you can actually tell that potential is speaking to you. It's going to be very interesting. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Those of us who love graphs, we know that there's a story behind numbers. Every number that you see, it gives you a story, tells you a particular story. And one of those graphs that you can take a look at is the graph depicting the growth of Facebook. Facebook is a seriously humongous, very big tribe worldwide into billions, having 1 billion plus daily active users. And if you take a look at its growth, you realize in that particular graph that it's not a straight line. It's a growth continuum on a curve and so on. And who better to tell us about that kind of growth than Mark Zuckerberg himself? In a speech he delivered at Stanford at some point in time, he said something, and I quote, he said, potential does not come, I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing, sorry. He said, ideas don't come fully formed. That's the thing. Ideas don't come fully formed. You know what he was alluding to? He was alluding to potential. He was saying that potential is not necessarily fully formed. That the thing that you have right now, you can sing, yes, but when you start singing, you are not perfect. The idea is there, the potential is there, the capacity is there, the seed is there, but it just needs to be improved. It needs to be made better. It needs to be exerted through a process, and this process is the one that is going to deliver the goods at the end of the day. So we have to understand one thing: potential is not fully formed. Potential is needed to be excavated, just like we do excavation of gold, and then we refine the gold, we refine the silver in heat, serious heat. That's when we get the silver at the end of the day. That's the same thing with our gifts and with our talents. They've got to be refined and so on. And so I want us to talk about this continually, to talk about potential, even as we've already discussed how potential is not being utilized, 10 ways in which potential is not utilized. If you dropped several coins in a busy street, I am most certain that you're going to gain some kind of attention, some kind of interest. Why? Because the value that those coins represent, the value, that sound of a coin falling, it represents value. That value that it represents is what people in the streets are looking for. Right? That is what people are looking for. That's why their attention is pricked. Why else are they there? Why else are people in the streets? But look at it this way. What if there was no value whatsoever in those coins? I'm sure you've heard a tin falling or a can being kicked, right? How much interest did it generate in you as compared to when you had a coin falling? How much interest did that generate in you? The noise they make will draw attention, but there will be no interest in a can. No interest, unless you are a guy who is into repurposing and recycling. See, those guys who are collecting cans and they are recycling, they will be seriously interested. But if you don't care, give a hoot about a can and about whatever these tins, it will fall very many times. In fact, it will be disturbing some kind of noise. You see, we have tuned ourselves to listen to the voices of the things that we gravitate towards. The things that matter to us will attract our attention. In a crowd of kids, when you hear a kid crying, you can tell that's my girl or that's my boy. Why? They matter to you. Did you notice that sometimes when kids cry and you know your kids are not among them, you don't sometimes give a hoot? I mean, you don't care. Really? Why? Because it doesn't really matter to you unless that cry that you're hearing is an alarming cry. Okay? And so as a father or as a mother or as a parent or as a guardian or someone who cares about kids, you'll be interested to find out what's going on. So every working day we gravitate towards what matters to us with keen interest. And in the process, the most potent thing in the face of the earth suffers the brunt of our attention and interest on other things. This is what I'm saying in so many words in English, that the thing that matters the most to us is our potential. And our potential remains dormant, it remains unused, it remains untapped, and yet still very potent. In some cases, it's even abused. However, the voice of potential still speaks. You know why we don't pay attention to potential? Because you cannot cash potential immediately. You cannot give potential to someone, in exchange of money immediately. That's why we don't give a hoot about potential. We are looking for money. We are looking to pay bills. We are looking to make ends meet. We are looking for pleasure. We are looking for rest and relaxation. We are looking for comfort. And these things that we are looking for on a daily basis, they crowd out the voice of potential in our lives. And tomorrow in the episode, I'm going just to highlight to you some of the things that we do when this potential is speaking to us. What are some of the things that we do? How do we respond to potential? But you get my point. First of all, you have to understand that you are looking for something, right? Because the topic we're talking about is potential is speaking. 4 ways in which potential speaks. The potential will keep speaking. It will never stop speaking. The point that we want to make at the end of the day is, are we listening? Or, better yet, are our ears attuned to listen to the voice of potential, so much so that we will hear when potential does speak. See, we need to learn to start recalibrating our thought patterns, recalibrating the way we approach life, and be of this mind that potential is speaking, and when potential does speak, we will need to listen. And I will tell you, I will teach you 4 or 5 ways in which you will hear the voice of potential, if only you are looking to hear the potential speaking. Otherwise, potential speaks daily, but there is nothing that is done about it. So tomorrow, let's go deeper, even as we've started this, or continued in the episodes of talking about potential. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.